how to design a dragon. Last tutorial we did was on how to make the scales for the body and how to make them articulating, and I've been asked if I could show how to actually make a head in Tinkercad. So I am going to try and show you how you can design in Tinkercad a cute little dragon head and make it a whole articulating design. So basically I start just with an empty work plane here, and I like my grid to be on 0.1 millimeters, so I start by doing that. And then I'm simply going to take the sphere over here. You know what? No, I'm not going to take this sphere this time. I'm going to show you something other than that, because we have a high resolution sphere available in the shapes generator. If you go in on shapes generator, then you get these shapes and you can click more shapes. But if you click all here, you get a lot more possible shapes over here. Sorry, I can't pronounce stuff today. And then you get all these extra shapes that you don't really see in the normal shapes form. And here we have a high res sphere. So let's take that and drop it into our canvas. And then again we can hold shift down and we can scale it without it's losing its proportions, as you can see here. Shift is a really helpful tool in Tinkercad. So resolution here, we will scale this all the way up, and we almost have no shapes in it. So that's a good looking sphere there. This shapes generator over here is also where you can find some of the more unusual shapes. Example, this one is a drill, but if you put it on a cute dragon like my birthday dragon, then you actually have the top twists of a cake instead. There's a lot of different shapes you can use that are in this part that you don't normally see and use. There's also this star, and yeah, there's so much stuff in here that you can go explore, see what you want to make. You see, there's a lot more than just the basic shapes that you're given. One I like to use sometimes is this one for different shapes. It's a banana, and you can make it curvy like that, and then you can cut it off, and then you can use the really nice curvy shape here to do different kinds of stuff. But we might use that later. For now I'm just going to take it away. Now we have our high resolution sphere here. I don't like to work with this color. I know it doesn't mean anything for the design, but for me that color's important. So I will start by taking the sphere and I will take it down a notch into the work plane, so we get a nice surface for the printer to work with, so we have a stable form for the head. So I'm thinking like this, and then I'm going to go over to the basic shapes. I'm going to take my whole box here and I'm going to make it as wide as this is and just drag it over there, and then I'm going to take it and just pull it down into my canvas, and since it's 20 high I'll just say -20, and then I know it's plane with the work plane, and I can just group these together, and then we have a sphere without a bottom now. So this is totally plain with the work plane. So now I want to start shaping my head of the dragon, and I am thinking I want a square snout for this round, big round head here. So we basically have a couple of different boxes. We have a box like this, which have these shapes on it, which can be quite good for making snouts and stuff. And you also have the basic shapes, like the basic box you can utilize, or if you want to have a round snout, you can use this one. And you also have a very useful tool in here, which is called Scribbles. If you haven't tried this one, you should maybe try and have a look at it. This is basically where you go in and you get to draw the shape of whatever you want. And then it will make it into a silhouette. And if you take this and you just fill it out, then you can actually have the whole shape filled out. Just like this. And you can erase in it if you want to, take parts away, and you can add to it. And then you just fill up this whole thing, and then you have, when you press done, you have this shape you can work with. It's actually quite useful to do some custom stuff. But yeah, back to the box. I'm thinking I'm going to go with this puffy rounded box here for this one. So I'm just going to take these away. And I am going to make a small snout for this dragon. Now I'm just using shift to transform it into keep this form, because I actually do like this form. I'm going to take it inside the head. And this one I am also going to put down under the work plane a bit, so we have a surface to work with, just to check out how it's looking. Thinking it needs to go into the head a bit more, like so. Yes. And then I'm going to group these two, not group them, align them together, so I know they are aligned on the mid axle. There we go. Now this one needs to be same color, because I like that. And now I'm just going to group them together, because then I have the basic head shape. Like that. So now I want to make a part here that goes up, like it has a bit of a bridge on the nose. So I can basically go in and take yeah, let's just copy this shape and ungroup these and take this one, because this one is perfectly in size with this one. So we'll just put them perfectly together here. See there? And then I'm going to take one of them and lift it up a bit, and then I'm going to rearrange what direction it's going in. Let's make this 20 degrees, and I'll take it up a bit, and I will move it into this, so I get a bit of an elevated nose shape. So you see now we are getting a nose bridge. I think it needs to go up a little bit still. Yeah, I think we are going all the way up here. There we go. No, not totally, but we're getting there. This needs to come out a bit. Like that. That's better. So you see, this shape is just basically three things put together for now. So group them again, so I don't accidentally push on one thing or the other and push them away. So now I want to try and play around with making a shape of the mouth and the nose. I'm thinking we are going to make elongated nostril holes here. So I'm basically going to take this donut thing, this tube, and I'm going to make it a small tube like this, and I'm going to use this as a hole. So I'm going to take this and just flip it over so I have this angle down here to work with. And I'm going to take it up here and let's see, I'm going to do this. And now you can see by the grayed out area where this touches the form and where it will cut out of the shape. So now this could be a nostril. Just going to take it up a bit further so we have room for the mouth. There we go. Now I want another one of these, so I Control C and Control V for copying, and now this is another tool that I like to use. It's called Mirror, and you can basically get the shape to mirror one way or the other, up or down, but this actually just creates the perfect copy that is mirrored, and then you can make sure that it's basically the same alignment as with the other side. And now we can just go ahead, mark them all and group these. Then it will make the holes for the nostrils. There we go. So now we have nostril holes for our dragon here. Let's see. Now for the mouth, we actually just do something similar. I just want it to be a bit less like that, and just give it a bigger radius because then it becomes thinner. There we go. And I'm going to make that one a hole too, and I'm going to just take it up here, and I might squish it a bit so we get this kind of happy mouth shape. And then I'm going to sort of take an angle on it here, like that, and then we're going to take it into our design and see what does it look like. You see, now it's touching up here. We can't have that because that would mean it would cut off some area of the snout. We don't want that. So I'm going to take it out a bit to where it doesn't touch, like that. Now before I group these, I'm just going to take a copy of this ring because I might need it, and I'm too lazy to go and create it again. So now we're going to align these, or not align them, but group them together. I'm so bad at remembering what all these technical stuff is called here. Now we have a smiley mouth dragon, but you can see it's actually crooked. It's like it's further up here than it is there, so we're just going to ungroup it again, and then we're just going to take this one, and we should actually just use this tool for it so it's perfectly aligned. There we go. And group them together again. There we go. Now we have a happy face. Now I'm just going to see if I can use this one for the sides also. If we can maybe get it to do this. Thinking just maybe taking a bit off here. Now if I want this to go all the way up to the chin, I'm going to have a problem with it going into here, but we'll solve that in a second. See if we can just sort of get it to do this and align there. So if we take this and make this solid, and we just take a box like this and put it in here, we can just sort of snip this part away of this. Just mark this and the box, and then we just cut it off, and then we make this one the hole again. And now it doesn't interfere with our head circle, so now we can see how long we can take it in. See, there it starts to hit. But basically we can use this shape. I thinking maybe it's really a lot for me about playing with the shapes and just seeing what I can do with them, where I want them, and how it will look. Sometimes I just group these items together to see what they look like, and then I just regret and try something different. But you see, now we have actually a quite cute looking smile here, and something we can start utilizing here for a little tooth. So now I'm going to just undo, because I want to make a copy of this one. So I'm going to Control Copy, Control V, and I'm going to take this one and make it so it's a mirror copy of this one. And I'm just going to use my mouse key, or my keyboard mouse, what's it called? The arrow buttons on my keyboard, and just try and get this aligned the same, so it doesn't cut into anything it shouldn't, and it looks about the same as the other side. And then group these together. Ta-da! Yes. Now we have a mouth. Now I mentioned this part could be a tooth, so we have this nice little paraboloid. I don't know if that's how you say it, but this is basically a tooth form if you flip it over 180 degrees like that. And of course it's going to be quite small compared to this, and then I want it to be a narrow tooth, so if we just do this without pressing down shift, then we can redirect how it looks, and we can basically just put it into the design. So I'm just going to angle it into the figure, so like this. Now it looks like he has a big tooth on the side coming out through his mouth, like this. Of course we're just going to go ahead and copy it and mirror it, if I can hit the right button there, and just going to take it over to the other side and do the same. There. So now we have two little teeth, and I'm thinking maybe of putting a crooked tooth here for it also, just because that would be cute. So we take this one and we just rearrange the angle of it, and I'm thinking we're just going to make it a bit different looking, maybe like so. And we're going to take it into the design. And just place it in there. And this grayed out area is going to be cut out, but that's okay. Should we mirror this one also? I think that would look cute, so we're just going to mirror it and put it on the other side of the mouth. Just because we can. Nah, doesn't look half as cute now. I'm thinking we're going to stay like this. Maybe we should give it a tongue or something coming out here. We could do that. Let's see, if we want a tongue, we might go down to the shapes generator again and go in on the all, and this is one of the things I am challenged with Tinkercad sometimes, because it doesn't show the shapes the second time you go in and look at them if they already loaded. So if it does this, you just have to go out on the dashboard or refresh, and then you can go in and get all the same shapes again. Tinkercad has its little kinks sometimes where it doesn't work 100%. Sometimes you'll get a failed shapes or failed nodes notification also. And basically if it does that, you just reload and yeah, try again. I was actually thinking we could use this one for the tongue. And we'll just lay it down here. See, if you go outside here, you can angle, or you can use your angles freely. But if you go inside, it will snap to these angles, so you get it at a precise 90 degrees or 0 or whatever you want. But right now we want 90 degrees this way, and we want a free transform here. So I want a narrower tongue, and then we can just sort of, I think we need to, you also need to think about how it prints. So basically you have to make forms that the printer can actually work with. So you can't have crazy overhangs and stuff like that if you want it to be a print-in-place model, like mine usually are. See, now we just lost our 0.0 grid because we reloaded. So now I'm going to take that again. Let's see. Thinking we need a bit more angle on this one. Like this. And now it has a tongue. There. Now, let's start working here on the shape. So basically I do two things when I make eyes. Either I make a blob out here on the outside, or I make a hollowed out shape into the skull, and then I make eye ridges and stuff. So I'm going to show you how I do this. So basically it's the sphere again. I put as many steps on it. You can really see the difference in these two shapes right now. This one prints almost smooth, and this one has these little boxes on it. But yeah, I'm going to take this, make this a hole, and then I'm just basically going to move it up where I think I want the eye. I'm thinking I want it close to the snout area. Maybe like this. I'm just going to try and align it or group it with the head just to see how it looks. I think I need to move it, so I'm just going to regret and move it a bit until I'm happy with what I get. Let's see, maybe go a bit down. Let's try that. See what that looks like. Well, this could work, I think. So I'm just going to regret again, and I'm going to make a copy of this one, and I'm going to take it over to the other side just by using my arrow keys on my keyboard. That's what it's called, the arrow keys. Sorry for not knowing all the technical terms and stuff like that. Maybe I'll learn those one day also. Let's see. Are we aligned? Now this is where I want them to be perfectly aligned on one of the edges, so I'm going to use the align tool and make sure they are on the same line, so they bulge out evenly. And when they do that, I'm just going to mark them, and I'm going to group them with the headpiece. And then we wait. The more you make on such a model as this, the longer Tinkercad can sometimes be with grouping items. So when we start putting details on the head and stuff, I won't be grouping anymore. I just keep the basic shapes grouped together like this. As you can see, it does take some time sometimes to actually get them grouped. Come on, Tinkercad. You can do it. Thank you. There we go. So now we have the eye holes. And then you can go and take this one if you want to and make it a small tube. And these are hard to control sometimes. And then make a bigger shape. And then you can go up here 90 degrees and just see. Right now I'm just going to check what it would look like to have this one as a sort of eye ridge for this. And always check them from both one side, upside and stuff. You can see here on the cube where you are, you can actually press these and see from every angle if you want to, and they tell you where you're at on your design. But yes, let's try and get it a bit into the skull here. I actually want this edge right here to be there, and maybe I'm going to just make it a bit squished here so I get this basic shape. And maybe we just need to get it a bit further in so it doesn't bulge out too much, like so. Yeah. Now I like this, so I'm going to make it the same color. Yes. Now we have a little eye ridge for him or her. And then we're just going to copy this one and mirror it and take it over to the other side with our arrow key. Doom, 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 doom. If you just use the arrow key, it'll keep it sort of in the same line as the other one. Now let's see if we can sort of get it at the same kind of angle. I think they're just about aligned there. So if we just group this together also there. There we go. Now we're starting to have a head shape and the snout and everything. And now I am going to take this half sphere, and this is going to be the eye. So I'm going to put it at 90 degrees and just see what angle we're going to get here. Depends on what it looks like when we get it up here. So we just move it with this one, and I can see it needs to be smaller, so I'm going to hold shift down and I'm going to make it smaller and just play around with the placement inside the eye here. You see, it's really deep inside. We don't want it to be that deep. And just see how we can angle it. I think we need it a bit bigger again, so find a corner, press shift and make it the size you want. And again, remember always to look at different angles to see how it looks from all the way around. Now I like this, so I'm going to, surprise, copy it, paste it, and mirror it. And I'm going to just put it over on the other side. and see if we can get sort of the same angle on the eye as on this one. I think we're actually almost at the same angle. Maybe just needs to go in a bit. Looks more or less the same from both sides now. There we go. Now we have the basic shape of the head, the eyes, the nose. Now we just need to put something on this head to make it something different. So maybe some big ears or something. Let's see what we can find. What should we do with this? So you have all these little menus with all kinds of shapes where you can take shapes like this, for example. Maybe we can utilize this one. If we take this one and we angle it and we make it thinner like that, maybe angle it a bit down, and we sort of play with this, we might be able to sort of create an ear shape. If we make this one like that also, that's maybe not too bad. Just for an ear, except it looks like it's actually going into the eye. It is. You can see it moving in here, so we need to take it out from there. There we go. And I'm thinking it needs to have maybe another shape like this, but just maybe sort of a bunny-like ear. Let's see. No, this won't do. We need to angle it out, because we need to remember we need to make this articulating, so we don't have space in this area to have too much in there. But we could maybe do it like this, so it'll have this long ear. Let's see, can move it up a bit. Also need to think of the angle that the printer needs to print this in. Let's shape these two together and just see how it looks. And just copy and mirror this one and see what it looks like if we put it on the other side, or if we want some other kind of ear maybe. So if you hold down your middle scroll button wheel on your mouse, you can move your camera like this instead of just these ways. So you get more nuanced way of looking at it. There we go. So these parts underneath here will be cut off, so we might as well just get them away straight away so they don't interfere with the rest of our things. So just take this box and make sure it sort of covers everything, and I'm just going to move it down -20 and just mark these three shapes and group them, and now we have a bunny-eared dragon with big teeth and nose and mouth. So the last thing I want to do, I want to make maybe some scales looking like scales like thing on here, and make some kind of ridge area here so it has horns or something. So we can use this one for horns if we want to. We can sort of, you know, make this into any kind of shape. So you could basically make a horn like this and just put it at an angle, and then you can do like that. Or we can have a look in our shapes generator again with all, and of course we need to reload it again. Maybe we can use one of these shapes down here, or we can find the one called drill. It's somewhere around here. I should maybe put that as a favorite so I can find it always. Or else I'll have to reload again. This is one of the problematic things about Tinkercad. There we go. Drill. Oh, it won't load it even. Okay. We'll just reload the design. And try again. So, shapes generator. All. Down to the bottom. I hope they get this fixed at some point. Hopefully they will. Here we go. Put it at a favorite so it's easier to find. We can take this one, or we can take this one. So we have these three basic shapes that I like to use for horns and stuff. Now I'm not feeling this one for this one, dragon. So I'm just going to try and place this one up here and see what it looks like. Just sort of place it to see what it could be. This one doesn't look that natural. It's a dragon. I know it can't look natural, but still. That actually looks okay. Let's try this one. Let's make it same color. And here you can control all the things about this, how big of a twist it needs to be. So we can make it straight like this, or we can make just some of these. Maybe just make it like this. And just pull it up from inside here. Let's see what we like. I'm actually thinking we might take this one and alter the angle a bit and make it a bit squished, and then give it a horn. This looks like the kind of dragon that could have a unicorn-like horn. And again, we need to remember that the printer will have to be able to print this, so we can't do all kinds of really bad overhangs, unless you expect people to print your stuff with the, what's it called, with supports. And I generally try to design for avoiding supports of any kind. So now if we do like this and take this one, put over there, and we make a copy of this one, and see, it did alter the twist on this one. You see, now we got the nodes failed to load kind of message. So when that happens, I delete the object and I make a new one. Because that happens sometimes, especially with these special shapes generated things. What's this one I wanted? There. So let's just keep this twist that it has. Take it in here and set it at a slight angle, I think. Maybe just 5 degrees. Yeah. And then we take copy and Control V and we mirror it and take it over here. Needs to go back a bit because it's hitting inside the eyes. We don't want it to show up in the eye part like that. I'm still thinking these might need to go further out. I'm not liking that it has this edge there, so I might just do that. Yeah, basically we have a head of a dragon now, which we can combine with the body parts we made the other day in the other tutorial, and we can actually have a print in place dragon. Let's see. These are all the files I'm currently working on. There it is. Scale. Tinker this. And the good thing is you can just go in on one of your other things and you can take the things you already made, you can copy them and paste them into the design you're making now. So as you can see, the head is quite big as to the body part, so we might just mark all of this and just hold shift down and scale it down somewhat proportionally. Yeah. Now we take the head and put it out here, and we just resize the scales also. So basically this now is one big piece, so I just want these parts of the head to be one big piece. So I take these and I just group them together without the eyes and the other stuff, because it'll make sense in a second. We have our scale, which I'm just going to copy, and we're going to use this to actually make the hole into the head. And you see, we need to get these to work together. I'm thinking we might need to scale these up somewhat still. Yeah. Now I will just cut off these parts again just by ungrouping them. You can always ungroup your stuff and go back to your basic shapes. So this shape we used to cut out the hole into the body, we can now use again to cut the hole into this part, as you see here. See, we might have a slight challenge with these parts, so we might have to cut a bit off of the ears, but we can easily do that. But let's start with taking this and putting it up to this. Let's see, are we there? So now I'm just going to mark this and the head, and I'm going to cut out this shape and see what it looks like. We should have just a small bottom plate still staying in there. Yes. Now the black you can see here is from the eyes and stuff inside the head, and we're not going to touch that. We're just going to leave it. I'm just checking that everything looks fine, that we don't have any holes in these areas, because I've cut out the insides. Now I'm happy with this. So now we just need to get the rest of this to cut off. Let's see. You can just take this one and use this shape we already have and just sort of make this indent into the ears. See, we need that and that. Let's try that and see what it looks like. So we'll just be cutting off this part there, so we have the body part to move inside. There we go. Yes. And this, from the scales, we need now to put inside the head to make it a functioning articulated design. So let's see, let's put it into the headpiece. See, it's a bit too high, so we're just going to make it a bit lower. And I am thinking we are going to allow it to be a bit outside here, like that. Yes. So now we're going to take our scales over here, just going to give them the same color, and then we can realign them like this, and we can see if our design will actually work together when we take this and put inside of the body. You can see we need just to alter the direction here a bit, like that. So now you have a head and the first two scales of the body of an articulated dragon. So that's basically how I work with it. Of course, you can keep tinkering with this one and just make it your own and yeah, do some stuff to it if you want to. But yeah, I guess this is that's it from this tutorial. If you wanted to print this one now as it is, you could do that just to test print it. Then you just simply go up to export and you click STL file, and then Tinkercad will give you the option to save your work as an STL that you can just load into Cura or whatever, and you can print it right away. So you can actually do a test print as soon as you have downloaded this file. So yeah, just let it work and save the file, and then you are ready to go. So I'm thinking this is it for this tutorial. So if you have any wishes for a tutorial for me to make, please feel free to comment me, write me, send me a message. You know what to do to get a hold of me. I check all my comments and all of the stuff on both Facebook and also on TikTok. You can find me both places. So yeah, I'm gonna sign off for now, and happy tinkering to you all. Bye bye.